I'm Helen.
And I'm Liz.
And we're sisters,
Scientists.
and lifelong X-Files fans.
And this is We Want to Believe.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the X-Files Season 4 finale, but not ours.
No,
quite yet.
not ours, not yet. Our season finale will have our interview with Susan Blomert, who played Mrs. Paddock. So very excited about that. I just saw a question online where people were asking, like, what do you think the scariest villain was? And multiple people mentioned how afraid they were of her. So very satisfying. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We are talking about Gethsemane today.
Oh, nice work. With
Thank you.
confidence, you did it.
Yeah, and it's because I was practicing. I would have sounded like I was having some sort of like religious breakdown to anyone outside my office because I was just sitting here by myself going, Gethsemane, Gethsemane, Gethsemane. And we're like, oh no, she's lost it.
Gethsemane.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you have anything to talk about?
Oh, I did. I don't remember what it was.
Can we talk about
was it
the
that?
moon launch?
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't the moon launch it was something dumb. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll
Maybe you'll remember.
Yeah. We'll see.
People are going around the moon, though.
Yeah, so
hear.
that's nice. Yeah. I've been reading about people's memories of the Challenger explosion. Because, like, you and I are too young to...
Oh.
I mean, I don't even know if you were alive when the Challenger exploded. Or...
No, it was 86,
Maybe?
wasn't it?
Sure. That seems right. Yeah. So you were not alive.
I was not alive.
Oh, yeah, it was 86. Adam remembers because, there was like a contest for for teachers. And so, like, there had been like, I don't think anyone from his school had actually been close to doing it, but like kids had wanted them to apply and like, it was like a big deal and talked about and everything. So, oh God. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Scary.
Oh. I thought you were going to say about the moon launch in 69. Because I know I was talking to our dad about this. He said he was watching it and he was talking about remembering
Actual moon
seeing
landing.
the moon launch. Yeah. Moon landing. Yeah. So the moon launch seems like they launched
that'd
the
be
moon.
Cool. Yeah.
That would be cool. The moon was launched at some point.
Yeah. Or like, I think like one of the theories, right, is that there was some sort of big impact and it like broke off of Earth this is off the top of my head and I'm not a solar system expert. We need Matt Siegler for that. But yeah.
Oh, sure.
What does it take to launch something? Could we launch the moon like with like a... That is literally what I was about to say. Yeah, with a big sling. Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing on the mission is they're threading the slingshot like around. That's why they're going around the moon so they can wrap it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is exciting. I'm always excited about the moon, and I always imagine that I would love to be an astronaut, but then I think about like how easily I'm freaked out on planes, even though I fly all the time. And I'm not always freaked out, as we've talked about, the napping. It's all very nice. But sometimes I get real in my head and I'm like, we're flying too high. Why are we going so high? What if the pilot's lost his mind and we're going straight into space?
Really?
Yeah, that happened last year. Yeah.
Hopefully Adam was there to... I can't imagine he shares these same worries.
No, he does not. No.
Okay.
And then I started thinking... Then the plane, like, levels out, and then I'm like, is it dipping too much? And at that point, I was like, God, I'm, like, self-aware enough to know it's insane, but I can't quite get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it works when you're being treated for anxiety. Yeah. You at least can be like,
there it
this
is.
is not a... Yeah.
Yeah. It like
doesn't mean the thoughts aren't there, but at least I can be like, oh, that's not rational.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm like, if I have those issues with like a flight from Slovenia to London, I'm probably not gonna do that good in space.
I cannot imagine any sort of scenario in which I was the sort of person that would want to be in space. No. Mm-mm.
Is there an amount of money where you would do it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Maybe we could crowdfund for that somehow. So we'd need to raise the money both to get you to do it and to pay to do it. To launch you.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, so like those smaller science missions where they go up in orbit but are not, you know, like
to like the International Space Station?
Yeah, or even just like into
like low orbit or
yeah. Like that would be closer to something you could get me to do.
Like you'd have a lower cross.
Right, and I'm assuming I would have to be like you couldn't just drug me because that would be
that would be cheating. Yeah. You'd have to be aware. You'd have to like, I don't know, make a sketch or like I don't know. You'd have some sort of mission.
Yeah. I mean, like I follow a few astronauts on Instagram, like scientific astronauts. So Amanda Nguyen, I think is her name. And then there's Kelly.
God, I'm not up on astronauts. This is embarrassing that you're the one who follows astronauts and I don't. It didn't even occur to me I could.
Emily Calandrelli. She did Emily's Wonder Lab. She did that kids show about science. That's how I know of her in particular.
That sounds nice.
She had, Kelly Girardi, I think is the other one.
I don't know astronauts. That's embarrassing.
But like if I could be on a flight with one of them, especially like, this is cool. I know who you are.
Not like with me and mom.
Yeah, no. Although honestly, we've talked about this with haunted houses. Maybe that would be better because I would presumably have to be the more reasonable one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the amount of money is probably less than $1 million. That I would, for something like that. Yeah. Just slingshot around the moon, it would be more. But I mean, if I could pay off my student loans, I'd do it.
So you'd go into space to pay off your student loans?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. We are talking about
Gethsemane.
Gethsemane. I had to think for a second. Should I get started?
Let's do it. Yeah. I remember nothing from this episode except the outcome.
Okay, so I remembered a lot of stuff except the outcome.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember last week you being like, imagine, as you're watching this, imagine this like airing, and then you have like a whole summer to go. And yes, we will get there. Okay, so it opens like a grainy TV footage of the NASA Symposium of 1978. And it's a clip of a bunch of guys in 1970s suits talking about life on other planets. So talking about like the, how they believe that it's out there, it's possible, etc.
I remembered the other thing I was going to say. I will say it at the end.
Oh, okay. All right. So then it switches and we see Scully walking into Mulder's apartment and there's a body lying on the floor by his coffee table, like between his couch and his coffee table.
Ooh.
And there are detectives there. The body's covered with a sheet and they say, like, thank you for coming, Agent Scully. We're sorry to have to do this. Is this him?
Oh.
Can you identify?
Oh, God. So they open with that.
Yes. Scully, they say, it him and show her the face of the body and she nods. So presumably...
Do we see it?
No, we don't see it.
Okay.
So then she's walking into a hearing, some sort of table full of people wearing suits, some syndicate members, no cigarette smoking man.
Okay.
And they ask her to, like, state the reason they're all here today. Like can you basically bring us up to speed? And she says that states why she was called onto the X-Files to begin with, and that her belief now is that there's no legitimacy to the X-Files.
Whoa.
And that Mulder was a victim of his own false hopes and the biggest of lies.
Huh.
And if everyone and Liz recall that last week was Demons, where we saw Mulder going through the ketamine stuff and remembering stuff about it. And so I think we are supposed to be led to believe that this was, he died by suicide. And then it's the opening.
Jesus. Okay. Are the words special?
Yes. Ooh. It says, believe the lie.
Believe the lie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't remember, like I said, any of this.
Right.
Hearing this, I'm thinking, just by the law of TV, we didn't see his face, so we have to assume Mulder's not actually dead. And then we have to assume that him and Scully have some sort of plan or something, because, I don't know, I understand if she's saying, oh, the alien conspiracy stuff is not true. But what about, like, the Fluke Man and Pusher and people who are older than they seem to be because of cannibalism and people who don't sleep and they turn invisible and all that stuff?
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I will say this. So, okay, I recently being like over the last almost year, all of Grey's Anatomy.
Is it still running?
It is still running. And so now I
cow.
actually am like watching it as a person watching it.
Whoa.
I watched like over 10 years of TV.
Wow. Wait, like, no, Helen, like way more than 10 years of TV.
Yeah, way more
like
than 10
almost
years.
20.
Because, yes, almost 20.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're in season 22 and
Okay.
And it started, I have told the story before, I don't know on here, of like watching it in college, and there would be like a break and there'd be a commercial break, and the cafeteria was open late on Thursday nights, and so we'd like run out to grab our frozen yogurt, and then like run back in time for the break.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And so they're in season 22. I'm about to spoil something from season 11, but I'm just going to trust. You can skip ahead 30 seconds if
it's really important to you to not
really
have season 11 of Grey's Anatomy spoiled. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I knew this, so I knew that Derek dies. Okay, Derek is like the main
isn't
love
that
interest.
Dr. McDreamy?
Yes.
He dies?
Yes.
What?
He dies.
I'm sorry, this was a spoiler for me. And, I mean, keeping in mind, I've never watched it. Like, I've seen like clips of it, but I was, it was such a phenomenon. I was aware of it. That's Patrick
Dempsey.
Yeah.
Not Derek Mulroney, which I think is who you were starting
that's a
to confuse
completely
him with.
different person.
Yeah.
He dies? I had no idea.
Yes. So I did know this because I watched the first 5 or 6 seasons and then would like keep up with things. So I remember like, oh my God, he died.
Okay.
And then other people die. Lots of people die in that show, and I was aware of them. So my point why I'm bringing this up is because even though it was 11 years ago-ish, or however long, 11 seasons ago, and I had known that he died, there was a part of me that was watching it that was like, no, he can't be dead, right? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't kill Derek. They would, like, I still didn't believe. And so, like, watching this, I mean, in this case, I know Mulder does not die, but like, I still felt that same sort of, I don't know, did he?
Yeah.
I don't, like, how do we know?
How?
So I don't know if I would have at the time I think I would have been suspicious that he died, but there is other things that I was suspicious with. And then, yes, that character did die. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like I was like, Derek can't have died, but he did.
I mean, that's the thing. I would say, like now, if I, as an adult, I would be like, oh, they're not going to kill him. He's one of the 2 leads. Obviously, we would know if he weren't going to be on the next season. But as a teenager, I don't know if I would have thought that. And also, I would have thought they couldn't kill Dr. McDreamy. So,
yeah, they sure did.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Man.
I know. So, okay, believe the lie.
Believe the lie. I'm going to assume the lie is that Mulder's dead.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then mountains.
Oh.
We're in a helicopter flying over mountains. And it tells us this is Yukon Territory, Canada. Your hair looks very cute, wavy, by the way. I see you kind of scrunching it. It looks very cute.
I'm scrunching it. I don't actually know. I put mousse in it, and I don't know how to, like, do it. Like,
I would...
Because it gets crunchy. When do I do more of the scrunching?
Once it's dry. So you
So there's like a period of crunchiness that you just have to like accept, and then you do more scrunching?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's damp. Should I let it continue to...
I mean, the thing is with your particular hair, you're not going to mess anything up because it doesn't really get that frizzy. It doesn't you're used to wearing it straight. Like you're not really going to mess anything up. For me, if I wear it curly and I put in something with hold, like mousse or gel, then I cannot touch it until it is dry. And then I scrunch out the crunch, it's called, where you,
You scrunch out the crunch.
scrunch out the crunch. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I can
All
only
right.
do that if it is like dry. But I don't think you're really going to mess anything up because your hair is wavy.
It's just wavy.
so-
yeah.
yeah.
It's not. It's like it's taking all of its effort to do this.
Yeah.
But it is doing
Yeah.
it. I didn't use a curling iron or something, so it is up to
it's very
stuff.
cute. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anyway, so helicopter
Anyway.
Canada. And this is what I remember because I remember watching this episode in grad school and putting something on Facebook about how like they sure make archaeologists look a lot cooler. than we
this
are.
is your Archaeologist Mountain episode.
This is
yeah.
yes. So they land the helicopter and it's some guys saying that they're going to meet the guide at base camp.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are Mulder and Scully on this helicopter?
No, just guys.
Oh, okay.
People. Yeah. And they say, he says it's unbelievable. And they're all excited and they're meeting
okay.
the guide. And so then they're at base camp and they start climbing up the mountain. And they get up the mountain and are in this cave. And there is an alien stuck in the ice.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so then it breaks in with Scully again at the hearing, talking about the whole alien conspiracy being a hoax.
Are we given a time stamp or anything
No,
telling us?
we're not.
Okay.
Which was frustrating.
Huh.
But
All right.
this is...
Yeah.
I eventually figured out that this is supposed to be like slightly in the past.
Okay. Like
so
a week ago or a month ago or something like that.
Yeah, probably less
Okay.
than a month. Yeah, like
Okay.
a week ago or something. So
Okay.
the hearing, Scully finding Mulder, that is the current.
Gotcha.
Them in the helicopter
Yeah.
is, yeah. So then we see, and again, this we're supposed to think is slightly in the past, a nice house. Mrs. Scully is lighting candles. It's some sort of
Mrs.
like
Scully.
holiday party or
Oh,
something.
she doesn't die, but I feel like,
No.
it's a season finale and it's one of Mulder and Scully's relatives. Be careful, Mrs. Scully.
Yeah.
That's when they die.
Yeah, she doesn't though.
Okay. And I suppose she doesn't know it's a season finale.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
It's very like, it's very waspy, even though they're Catholic.
Yeah.
But that's the best. Like, there's lots of people in sweater
Okay.
sets and lots of people with like fancy things. Scully, I believe, is wearing a sweater set.
Gotcha. Okay. Like our one good friend who I've said is like Catholic wasps
Yes.
are his family.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
the exact
Yeah.
same sort of people. Yeah.
This is them. Gotcha.
So Bill
Yep.
Scully walks in, Scully's brother, and gives Scully a hug and stuff. And as they're kind of catching up, a priest comes in too. And so we see like a priest walk in and hugging Mrs. Scully. And we find out that her mom had asked the priest to come. So the priest ends up being sat next to Scully at the dinner table.
This is just like a dinner party?
Yeah. And the priest, whose name I don't think we know, which is why I'm saying that, says that, your mom asked me to come to talk to you. And, I know you're going through a personal crisis and a threat to your health, but your faith can make you stronger. And it's kind of like why haven't you been to church lately,
okay.
I guess. And I noted this scene in particular because I don't know if I've told this story or not. With Hugo, my youngest son, I had a partial placental abruption and was in the hospital for several weeks. And they asked if I wanted anyone to come talk to me. And the previous year, when the twins had died, I had spoken to a very lovely priest who was like really empathetic and good at his job.
Oh,
and,
good. Yeah.
exactly what you'd want in a hospital priest. And this guy walked in and I was like, explaining the situation, was like very worried about the baby.
Yeah.
And, like I've experienced loss recently. And, I don't know how people are saying like, just believe things will be okay, but I don't know how to do that given my history. And he goes, well, you just have to. And I was like,
Oh my God.
thanks.
Yeah. I do remember that. And that is like, could he be more useless? Like, wow. Like,
Okay, great.
oh my God, what a waste of your time.
Yeah, I was like, I could have been reading the book.
Yeah. Wow. What a dick.
So it had very much that energy.
Gotcha.
Of just
Nice. Like equally effective.
Yes,
Like,
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, like
When I got my knee surgery, they asked, like, are you, do you have like a religion or
Yeah.
anything? Like, I mean, I have to imagine they're not like having a lot of people who need like religious counseling over like a routine knee replacement, but it was still, I think they asked just in case or whatever. And I was like, no, keep them away. And which was like, I think perhaps a little too much. I was full of drama that day. I was just thinking about it. Like I really did not behave with dignity for a surgery that is done constantly multiple times a day by these people that, you know,
I mean,
I just was, it was not good.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, now I would say the same thing. I mean,
well, I'd heard that story from you, and I mean,
I think it was probably the same hospital from what I recall. So yeah.
No, it was East Side.
Oh, okay. But who knows? Maybe he switched.
Yeah.
There's still that guy walking around who's just like, well, you just got it.
Yeah.
So that it had very much the same energy of just like, well, you have to believe Miss Scully. And she's just like sitting there like, okay.
God. Yeah, I feel like you have no idea, sir, what Scully has gone through. Come on.
Yeah. So Mulder calls while Scully is at this party saying that someone named Arlinsky found something on a mountain in Canada, but he can't tell her more over the phone. And so she needs to meet him at the Smithsonian. And
at the Smithsonian, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So she does. She leaves the party and Mulder says like, oh, apologize to your mom for me. And I think we get the impression, or I did at least, that like she's not super sorry to have been called away.
Yeah. I would have to imagine not. Yeah. Oh, duty calls. Gotta leave. Sorry, priest. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what this was reminding me of? I was saying priest sitting next to someone at dinner, reminding me I recently watched a David Duchovny movie, Return to Me. Do you remember that movie?
Oh my God, of course. I love that movie.
I haven't seen it in so long. When I was out of town, I watched it. And they like try to set up one of the main characters with a former priest. And it's real awkward. And that's what it was reminding me of.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. But then I was like, hey, actually, that's David Duchovny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that movie. Yeah. I found out Adam finds it like way too creepy.
Really?
It's just like a take that had never even occurred to me. Yeah.
I mean, so the premise is that someone, David Duchovny, again, I feel like I'm going to spoil a movie from the 90s. His wife dies and she's an organ donor, and he ends up meeting the woman, Minnie Driver, who received his wife's heart.
I told him if I die and somebody gets my heart, he's welcome to date them. So,
yeah. I feel like that's fine.
I mean, I mean, if anything, it's less weird because I'm still kind of there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Because you read all that, like those weird stories about people who get like organ transplants and suddenly like they have like a new favorite food that's the food of the person whose organ they got or whatever. Or like, I don't know. Maybe if somebody got my heart, they would like
start playing derby.
Yeah, they'd start playing derby or I don't know. Can you do that with a heart transplant? I don't know how that works.
Oh, I don't know.
I was thinking they'd just like start getting real neurotic about flights or something. So, yeah.
So they're talking in the museum on their way up to the lab or whatever. And Arlinsky is a forensic anthropologist. Woo! Who Mulder's been in contact with for the last several years. And apparently he was involved in an alien hoax a few years ago, but always maintained...
Involved in what way?
Like, they don't actually clarify, really. They just...
He played the alien.
He dressed up in a suit.
Yeah.
But he always maintained his innocence.
Okay.
So they go up to the lab and meet him, and he's showing them slides, like a, slideshow, not microscope slides, of pictures of the body in the ice.
Okay.
And says that they took core samples from around the ice, or like the ice around the body, and showed that it was over 200 years old.
Okay.
And Mulder starts questioning whether it's a hoax, which I think is funny, but whatever.
That's kind of out of character for him. Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy's like, well, this was like out in the middle of nowhere. So
why were they there?
I don't know. They don't actually say. Yeah, because that's not normally where we would do archaeology.
And this is the second alien or hoax that this guy's been involved with. Can you imagine that being your job? Like you don't run into...
I can imagine it being my job.
Because it is, but...
Being a forensic anthropologist, but I cannot imagine being involved in alien hoaxes.
Yeah, like frequently. Like, another one. Yeah.
No. So no, I don't know why they're out there. They don't actually explain that. Like, I don't know if like a mountain climber just found it.
Don't anthropologists like care about people?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be out in the middle of nowhere? Oh, okay. But like if a climber found it and was like, hey, I need to get forensic anthropologists out here.
Maybe, right. And there's also, I mean, I have friends who have gone to some really remote places for stuff.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, yeah. So friends of mine that work with the DPAA, which is the Department of POW MIA accounting agency. So like if a plane went down in the middle of nowhere, they might potentially send people out
that makes sense.
to there. So like I have had people go to like the middle of the jungle. I have just always been like, you know, I'll keep my air conditioning in
Which,
Western
I mean,
Europe.
look, frankly, from my standards, I'm not even crazy about the air conditioning in Western Europe. It could be more cold.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I don't know why they were there, but he was like,
right, yeah, like if we're going to do a
why
hoax,
would we do
why
this?
out here?
I get, you know, yeah. And he has the ice core samples there. And so we then see them, Mulder and Scully, walking out of like down into the atrium of the museum or whatever. And Mulder's like, well, what do you think? You know, and she says something like she really has no opinion of this. And they talk a little bit because Mulder says like, well, what if someone could prove the existence of God to you? And she's like, well, it's not the same thing. I don't know. So they have like a bit of a existential back and forth.
Okay.
And Mulder finally asks her to take a look at the core samples. And in my notes, I wrote, why? For what?
Yeah.
Because why? What do you ask Scully to look at the samples? For what?
Because she's someone who's used a microscope?
There are a lot of people who know how to use microscopes, though, and some of them are geologists. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So we then see Scully back at the meeting or the hearing or whatever, the boardroom in present day, and says that what Agent Mulder didn't know, what she had recently learned, was that her cancer had metastasized.
Oh.
And that she was given a like pretty poor prognosis recently, and that she had not told anyone this yet.
God. Okay.
Yes. So now we're back in the mountain, and it's showing the archaeologist cutting into ice, which just like, God, dirt is hard enough. I don't want to have to cut into ice. And there we see a guy in a tent loading a gun.
Oh.
And another guy is like, what do you have that for? And he says he doesn't know these men well enough, and he's going to be out there alone tonight. And so like, he's like, there are apparently other guys on the dig. They don't say like who these men are.
Man, I would like to think that if you are doing your job as a forensic anthropologist or archaeologist, anthropologist, what are you? Why is this always so hard for me?
I mean, it's because I am both a bioarchaeologist and a forensic anthropologist.
Okay.
And so that's why it's almost basically the same thing. So I don't care which one people use.
So you're doing that. I would like to think that if you're in a situation where you are like, I need a gun for protection against these other archaeologists, that you would leave.
Yeah, I mean,
and also, what would that situation be?
Yeah, no, I have, again, no context for this.
Yeah.
This is not my experience. Yeah. So someone comes to get them, the guys who are talking about the gun, because they noticed a weird bubble or something in the ice. And it kind of looks like a pore hole for like casting something.
Like
it looks like, so there's like a weird bubble or chute or something, but it's coming from a weird angle, they note. So they're like, well, you don't think it was like a pore hole, but that's what someone like relates it to. So Scully is in the lab looking at ice cores with someone who appears to be a geologist, I think. And he's talking about how it doesn't look like it's been tampered with. And he talks about like the different layers of sediment that he's seeing in the core that make it look like it hasn't been damaged or, you know, but that there's also some cellular material in the matrix that is not a plant or an animal, but a chimera. At first I was like, well, it's not a plant or an animal. Is it a bacteria? Is it a fungus? Is it like there's other cells?
Yeah.
I was
like, it's a mushroom. Yeah.
But apparently he calls it a chimera, and he's not sure what it's from, and he's not sure if it's capable of cellular division. But he's going to take a look at it under an electron microscope. And I felt like sensible. Okay.
Should we know what he means by chimera?
I mean, in this case, I think he's using it to mean like a mix of two.
Yeah.
In that way. Yeah. But that's not like a a term.
It's
you should
okay. It's not like a official thing in cells.
Right, no, it's not like.
Okay.
Yes. No. It's not like you're missing something by not being a biologist.
Gotcha.
This is just like
I learned that word because that was one of the monsters in the RPG game for Super Nintendo, 7th Saga.
That was
It was really hard though. Yeah.
It was really
Did
hard.
he
Zach
really?
eventually beat it.
Wow.
Shout out to
thank you, Zach. Thank
Warner.
you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun,
I got
I liked
stuck
that game.
trying to beat this one guy for literal years.
I know. I can picture. Yep. I can picture that guy.
Oh,
He was
hate
bald,
that guy.
I think, right? Yeah.
I think that's an interesting RPG because it has an alien in it, which is unusual for a. Yeah, well, you
Does
can
it?
play as an alien. That's like one of the people.
Oh. Yeah, because otherwise
There's a
it's very
mage.
much like a
there's a
fantasy
dwarf.
sort of.
There's a
Yeah.
elf. Yeah. But there's an alien. Yeah. I know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, how appropriate that we're talking about it today. So now we're back on the mountain, and we see someone walking around with a shotgun. And the guy who had the gun, who we later find out is named Babcock, which just makes me think of UW-Madison and Babcock Hall, is like laying awake with the light on and like hears someone else moving around through the tents. And so he turns his light off and grabs his gun. So we hear shots fired.
Oh,
it's unclear what's happening. Shots are being fired. We see like big shotgun shot going through a tent canvas. So then we see it's daylight now, and a helicopter is landing in the helicopter landing area by the base camp where people originally had, and it's Mulder and Arlinsky are there. And so they walk into the field tent. There's like a little field station set up at the base camp, and there's someone who's supposed to take them to the summit, and he is not there. And it's clear that like something is off. And so they just start hiking themselves up the mountain, which seems like a bad idea.
It absolutely does. Yeah.
But ends up being fine. But they start out by themselves and they're walking for a bit, it seems like. And then they see a guy lying in the snow who's been shot, and it's the guide.
Okay.
Yes. So Scully walks back into the lab where the geologist was, and she's looking for him for something. We don't know why. And there's just a random guy in a suit there, of course.
Yeah.
Instead of the ice core guy. And he just kind of nonchalantly takes some papers and grabs the ice core and starts walking out. And so Scully is like, gonna wait in the lab or whatever. But she sees that the freezer was busted open where the ice core was. So it's like he had busted open to get it and, shouldn't have been there. And so she follows him into the stairwell, but he comes through. So it's like several doors onto the stairwell. She comes looking for him. He busts open through the other door and they start fighting. And he ends up pushing her down the stairs.
Ooh.
Yes. So Mulder and Arlinsky make it to the mountain and find that everyone has been shot.
Oh. Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they like run to the back of the cave and the body is
the alien is gone.
Also not
okay.
good.
Okay. This has like Syndicate all over it, doesn't it? Or something. Yeah.
Yes. But then they hear someone moaning. And so they run into one of the tents and it's Babcock. And I know this because Arlinsky says, it's Babcock. And it's the guy with the gun. And he was shot, but not too badly hurt. And so he says that they didn't take the body, that he buried it. And so it's below one of the tents. Let me tell you, I don't know, I want to relate it to dirt, I guess, but like, sometimes things are excavated on block, which means that like we can't get it out of the dirt easily enough, and so we just take the whole chunk of dirt back to the lab so that we can like more carefully excavate it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so that's essentially what happened with this. And like things that like a single skull that has been excavated on block is so insanely heavy. Like so
really?
Oh my God. Like moving boxes that have like skulls still on block is like such a workout.
Wow.
And so the idea that this was like, I mean, they talk about the size of the body later, but this was roughly child-sized body in ice. I'm just like, and he's been shot. I don't know how he would have moved
and
this
also
himself.
he dug a hole.
Yes, he would have had to also dig a hole into the snow and then put a tent on top of it.
Yeah.
So
that seems like it would take a while. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe he is super ripped and it took him a long time and he's been doing it for a while. I don't know. Maybe But anyway, so he's
so he's preserved the alien body with his magic digging powers.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, magic digging.
So like if I were to ask you like what sort of superpower would you want if you could have one and you'd be like digging?
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you do, like, practically speaking, if you had...
Dig. Oh, my God. It would be so much easier. Like, no need to get an excavator on the site. I can just magically dig things.
Would you do any, like, recreational digging, you think? Like, in your...
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, you could dig... I don't know.
Then just put it back. I don't know.
Just for kicks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then we see Scully in the hospital, and she's like standing up and clear she's okay. And Bill, Scully, her brother, is there to pick her up. And he says that he got the call that he didn't tell their mom, that they called the FBI or the hospital had called their mom's house, and he decided to just go get her to not worry their mom. And he says that he knows about the cancer. And Scully is like, why did mom tell you that? And which just like...
She was keeping it a secret from her brother that she had cancer?
Yeah.
God.
And he's pissed that she's still working and still getting knocked down the stairs and stuff.
I was going to be like, she needs to work. And then I was like, oh, the stairs. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be upset if you were getting knocked down the stairs at work as well. And you don't even have cancer. Yeah.
And, you know, like still, and he kind of is blaming Mulder a little bit and is like, are you doing this for him? And like, he seems relatively reasonable. Like, I felt like, yes, these are all fair points. I would also be very annoyed. Yeah. Okay, so now it tells us we see a new place. We're in Southeast DC, and there's a truck unloading into a warehouse, and it's Mulder and Arlinsky and Babcock and a giant crate holding the body on block in ice. So they get some warm water to start thawing the ice. And
is that what you would do?
I don't know. I wanted to criticize it, but I actually have no precedence for criticizing it, so I don't know.
Okay. And I guess also, like you aren't digging up bodies. You're talking bones. When you're digging, it's for bones, right?
Most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, there have been bodies.
That's so ominous.
I mean, like, well, I don't want to give like specific.
That's fair.
You know, like but like things are not always as decomposed as they should be.
In an X-Files way?
No, in a why did someone decide to bury this person in a body bag way.
Oh my God.
And so the plastic and stuff kept things,
God.
Juicy.
I think that's my least favorite use of the word juicy ever.
Sorry.
Every time I see those old like sweatpants, I'm going to think about this.
I also would not have been thawing it. More importantly, I'm not excavating anything from ice. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
That just sounds really hard. I would like some magical digging powers for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mulder, Arlinsky is saying like, you know, we'll do an exam. We'll look at the physiology. This will remove any doubt, you know. And Mulder says he doesn't want to get too excited until they do a carbon dating test, which in my notes, I was like, why?
Wait, why does it matter how old this is? Because carbon dating isn't going to tell you, was it put there 2 years ago or 10 years ago or yesterday? It's going to tell you, is it like thousands of years old or not?
Right.
And like, who cares if it's an alien that was there thousands of years ago or an alien that was there recently, right?
Right. Well, in this case, so later, Arlinsky says some stuff that does make sense, and so I'm choosing to take this as a Mulder
and that's
doesn't know
fair.
what he's talking about because he's not an archaeologist. Because Mulder then mentions the Piltdown Man hoax, how that was disproven because of radiocarbon dating. And so in my brain, I'm going, okay, well, Mulder doesn't know anything, but he just knows that the Piltdown Man was disproven because of carbon dating. So he's saying he wants to see carbon dating.
Okay.
So anyway, the Piltdown Man, though, for anyone who doesn't know, skeletal remains that were fossilized, that were presented as being like a missing link, like a previously unknown early human ancestor. And so this was announced in 1912 and were like broadly accepted as real for like lots and lots of years. And then it was like in 1953, they started to think that perhaps this was not real. And then in a 2016 article found that this guy, Charles Dawson, an amateur archaeologist, was responsible for the evidence and that it was indeed a fraud. So it was presented in 1912. Dawson presented it as being like this missing link and this like really important early human ancestor. And this would have been like really important for showing the transition between human chimpanzee ancestors and modern humans. And so it was found near Piltdown in East Sussex. And so that's the name because of that. So, I mean, anything of being that age is going to be fragmented. And it turns out that it was like fragments of like some parts of a human skull, some parts of an orangutan skull, some like he had like cobbled together. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And
so he had
like
done it on purpose. Okay.
One of the things that pisses me off most about it, this was 1912. This was a long time ago, but it's something that like creationists have often pointed to as like, see, people falsify fossil evidence. And like,
yeah, like way to delegitimize stuff, dude, by faking this.
Yes. And
or like,
it was just like,
give people who are determined to find ways to disprove it,
right,
you know, something to say.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, Piltdown Man was a hoax. Okay. And Mulder wants to see the radiocarbon dating, which would just tell us how old it was, but we're going to go past that.
All right. Sounds good.
So Scully is in some sort of FBI lab with some sort of FBI scientist looking at fingerprints. So they're telling her that they were able to pull fingerprints from the ice core lab that could be from the person who attacked her.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. And, but the person has no record. And so they like found unique fingerprints that were not hers and not Dr. something's, the geology ice core man. And so they think that it's him, but they don't have a name because no record. And Scully says, try the federal database. And it is indeed a government employee.
Ah.
And he is Michael Kriskow. Remember him? Krishkow,
oh
yeah.
Oh my God,
Krishkow.
Right? Is that it? Krishkow?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about him. What is his deal?
Me too.
Holy cow.
So he is formerly Army and is now at the Pentagon. So we'll get
I thought he was just going to be like, you know, like a one-off weird mystery guy in a suit who does bad things. Like we have many of those.
Yep. I didn't because I watched it and was like, that guy looks familiar. I think like, and like was like, I think he comes back. Yeah,
Krishkow. I forgot all about him.
So we see Mulder then is in this kind of ad hoc lab that they've set up in the like loading dock of some area, looking at X-rays of the body. Oh, and Arlinsky is kind of like doing a makeshift autopsy. And he mentions that it's 147 centimeters long and 24 kilograms, that there's 4 digits on the hands and 3 on the toes. And so they're like doing an initial look at the body.
Can I make a guess at what's going on? And you may not even know yet, but I just had this feeling.
Sure.
I am wondering if this is going to be one of these things where like, no, this doesn't make sense. I don't know. I was thinking maybe that like the syndicate planted this alien that is fake so that it would like delegitimize Mulder for believing in the alien. Hope is what they're hoping, but
you're not too far off. You're on the right track. It's not that exactly, but it's that same sort of circular thinking. Yeah. So he says he's going to start by removing Arlinsky is saying this is going to remove the lidless membrane over the alien's eyes to look at. And in my notes, I wrote, how is he qualified for this? With a bunch of question marks. But then I thought, no, you know what? Because like they're doing this in secret. So this is in a warehouse. This is unofficial. It's just Mulder, Arlinsky, and Babcock. And I feel like if we needed someone to do a secret alien autopsy, I think I could probably do a decent
really?
job too.
Okay.
So I
Okay,
let him have
all right.
that.
I mean, yeah, if it was like somebody's got to do this secret alien autopsy, and like
Right.
of the people who know about this, we're gonna choose you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Please don't, in case anyone's, don't make me do that. I don't want to.
No.
I don't
You'd
want to
rather
get
go to
involved.
space.
Don't see me as someone who could do one. I would rather go to space. Yeah. So Scully is in her car watching Krishkow and like following him. She sees him coming out of the Pentagon. Well, no, maybe not the Pentagon, some government building. And she follows him into the parking garage and in her car and like almost hits him. She like stops like real quick to like right in front of him and gets out and pulls her gun on him. But he runs and she ends up chasing him. And he gets in another car and drives off.
Man.
But then Scully is able to head him off on foot and forces him out of the car. And he says, if you arrest me, they'll kill me. And she says, you know, who? And he says, well, the same people who gave you your cancer.
Okay. Huh.
Yep. So we're back in the autopsy and they're doing autopsy things, cutting ribs, weighing hearts, etc. And Arlinsky says, like, well, this clearly isn't human, but I want to do gas chromatography, DNA sequencing, and carbon dating. And I thought, like, that is
Okay.
yes,
All right.
great. Okay, agree. Like,
Great.
he's doing what I would do. Wonderful. And so Scully calls Mulder. Mulder gets a phone call. And now we see Scully back at the hearing telling them what happened next. So she's telling the hearing that Mulder was believed that he was witnessing an alien autopsy, but that Krishkow had told Scully the like point by point way Mulder had been deceived by this and previously, and how she convinced Mulder to come meet her so that he could talk to Krishkow himself.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Arlinsky and Babcock are packing the body on ice to try to preserve the evidence, and a guy with a gun shows up and shoots Arlinsky. And lets Babcock go. And like right as he's about to shoot Arlinsky says, "What is this, Babcock?" And
God.
like Babcock is like not surprised by the guy with the gun showing up. It's clear that he was like some sort of double agent. And so the guy asks Babcock where Mulder is after he shoots Arlinsky. And Babcock says that he got a call and had to go. The guy with the gun says, then we're the only ones who know. And Babcock says yes. And he says, is he still a believer then? And Arlinsky says yes. Or Babcock, I'm sorry, says yes. So like they had wanted Mulder to see and be a believer. And I'm guessing they shot Arlinsky because he was going to do gas chromatography, DNA sequencing, things that would prove that this was a hoax.
Okay. This is the lie they want Mulder to believe.
Yes.
Okay.
So Krishkow, Mulder, and Scully meet in Mulder's apartment. And he tells them that he works for the DOD. And Mulder asks, like, well, why now? Why are you doing this now? And he said that he has a son who's really sick who had served in the Gulf War. And so I think we're supposed to, you know.
Like Gulf War syndrome or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And he says that the lies are so deep that the only way to cover them is with something even more unbelievable. And he tells Mulder that they invented you, that the regression hypnosis, your sister's abduction, that like this was all designed to get Mulder to be who he currently is and believe what he believes.
Since Mulder was 12?
Maybe.
Okay. To what end?
I mean, we know his father was involved in this, you know? Well, so to make the only way to cover something so unbelievable is with something even more unbelievable.
What is the thing they're covering? Do we know that?
The government's involvement, I think, is what we're supposed to assume. That, like, the government is doing bad stuff.
Okay.
And so they're, like, creating aliens as a way to cover up what they're doing.
I guess that ignores a lot of things like the shapeshifter and, you know. Right. But okay. All right.
Yes. Yeah. And Mulder is like, well, what about the body? And he says, well, the body will never be tested. You were only meant to see it, to believe the lie, and to go public with the news. So Mulder goes back to the makeshift lab and everything is gone. and Arlinsky is laying there dead.
Okay. Yep.
And so him and Scully are arguing about whether or not it was true. And Scully says that it's easier to believe the lie. And Mulder is like, well, what makes you believe Krischgau? Like, what is it, why do you believe him?
Yeah.
And apparently because Krischgau had told her that the men behind this hoax and these lies were the ones who gave Scully the disease.
Okay.
In order to help make Mulder believe. And so this, I feel like, calls into question some interesting things that are just occurring to me. Like, how are we supposed to believe they have given Scully cancer? Was it like through the radio, like this implant was so highly radioactive that it then acted as like a super carcinogen? Or like, how are we supposed to believe that?
Okay. Yeah. And like, yeah,
give her
I
cancer,
still feel like and also like just because Krischgau said that, does that necessarily make him more believable?
I don't know. Except that Scully knows Mulder still didn't know how bad her cancer was progressing. So maybe she's thinking that this is true because of how, I don't know. I
feel like the conspiracy stuff is getting very tangled here.
So now we're back to seeing that 1978 hearing. So we see like
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
And we see that it's Mulder who's watching it on his TV at home, and he's crying and very obviously upset.
Oh God.
And then we see Scully at the hearing.
Yeah.
Early that morning, she got a call asking her to identify Mulder's body, and that Agent Mulder died last night from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. And that's how it ends.
Yeah. I knew that's how it ended. Yeah.
I mean, that is, I did not, like I said, I remembered a lot of this, but not that.
Wow. It makes sense in a way that you wouldn't remember that because the main plot is about this alien body being found and the autopsy and the ice and the shootings and all that. So like, And
I also probably immediately watched the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, what I can't remember is, obviously we know he's not dead, but like what I can't remember is like, how much does Scully know about all of this? So, how involved, and we'll find out soon, I guess, but.
Yes. And I have some guesses / things I remember, I guess. So like, I don't know how much to say. Not that we're not spoiler free, but I also don't want to like totally give away the,
okay.
I don't know.
Fair. Yeah.
I feel like I vaguely remember what's going on.
I hope that she knew stuff because otherwise this would be very traumatic for her.
I think she did.
Okay.
I think she did.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I recall, but we'll find out. Because we're not going to make you wait all summer. We're going to talk about season 5 in a few weeks.
After we talk about The Simpsons.
Yeah. You had something to say that you were waiting for the end.
Yes. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say that, like, when I watched, because, I didn't watch The X-Files while it aired until season 7.
Right.
That's when I started watching it. What's the right word? Contemporaneously? I don't know if that's right, but I started watching it at the time. And most of it I saw in college. And so at that point, it had finished, like, a couple years before.
Yeah.
And I always watched it with the sense that if I can just watch this all in order, I will understand the conspiracy. And like, that's not true. Like that's, I don't know if other people were that naive at the time or if it's just the way that I approached it and the time at which I watched it. But like when you're just catching episodes on TV randomly, you think, oh, this is one that gives us clues. I'm going to piece stuff together. And then you get the box sets. You buy them online and you finally get them and, then you're watching them there, but it's still like, there's so many episodes and there's so many different pieces of information. And I feel like this episode, I'm really starting to see like, and I knew this already, right?
Yeah.
That it doesn't all hold together, but like, I'm really feeling like we're feeling it for the first time here.
Right. And I think that's partially on purpose. Like, I think that's partially what we are supposed to be feeling is like, there's a lot of conflicting information. I don't know what's true, but I also, it was interesting because I can't remember where I came across this, but I saw something recently saying that like Chris Carter did not have like a master plan and that like, that is like, he did not, he was making things up a little bit as he went, that there was not like ever a solid, like, this is how things are. And
which is too bad.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris Carter.
I think we are seeing that. I am even more excited about the Ryan Coogler adaptation.
Yeah.
Because have you seen Sinners?
No, but I've heard it's incredible. Have you seen it?
No, not yet. Well, I started watching part of it. What I know about it is because we do these faculty forum talks where we talk to our
I saw
colleagues
yours
about our
about
research.
TV. The streaming. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my colleagues just this past Wednesday talked about African spiritualism and and used a clip from Sinners as an example of something.
Awesome.
And it was like so cool. And so now I'm like really excited and really, really want to see it. Yeah. And it makes me very excited for the new X-Files too.
Yeah. I'm very eager. Like, we don't have like a release date or anything yet. Like, I'm very eager for that.
I just hope they actually do it, because you know that they were going to do a Buffy reboot, and then
I heard about that bullshit.
Yeah, I know. So I'm hoping this happens.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I was very mad.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
So David Duchovny has a podcast that I don't think it's been updated super recently, but I just mean in like the last 6 months or whatever. Like, maybe they're still putting out episodes, but they're just reruns or whatever. But it's called Fail Better, and it's him like talking to, it seems like, famous people, some of whom are associated with the X-Files, about like mistakes they've made and like how they've learned from it and stuff like that. And so I started listening to his talk with Gillian Anderson, and it was really, really interesting. Like, I really recommend listening to it. Yeah, just hearing the two of them talk. And it's from 2024, so fairly recently.
Okay.
And like, it was just fascinating to hear them both talking about like their experiences and like conflicts that they had on the set and like difficulties. And like, I mean, Gillian Anderson, you know how like she got abducted in season 2, Scully did, because Gillian Anderson was pregnant.
Right.
She got 10 days to recover from her C-section.
Oh my God.
Before going back to filming. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, which it sounds like the schedule was insane. Like, they were not super happy with that. And it was interesting hearing her talk, because, you know, there were these 2 newer seasons, 10 and 11, that I don't think either of us have seen any of. I haven't. I've heard that one of the episodes, Mulder and Scully Meet the Weremonster, is like a classic comedy episode that they say is like absolutely incredible, people say. So, yeah, so I'm eager to see that. But I've heard that the like conspiracy stuff is bad, and that Gillian Anderson says like she's ultimately like not happy with the direction of where they were taking Scully's character and her interests and her like focus on William, on her child, and because remember, she has a child named William, and right,
I know, but what? Why?
She said it was like, instead of Scully's growth of the character, it was like the writers couldn't see her as anything other than a mother, and that was like the whole lens of it. Of like any of her growth or anything was just about in her role as a mother and not anything else, and that she didn't like that.
Huh. Oh, I want to listen to this.
It was really interesting, but there's also just like other crazy stuff. Like, she's like created a soda, I guess, a pop, as our people call
Gillian Anderson has?
Yes, called G-Spot.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I did not know that.
We were talking the other day about, I mean, I'm Googling this just in case I'm insane. And no, it is real. It is a soft drink brand founded by Gillian Anderson. Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. We were talking a few episodes ago about like, how English is she? She lived in England till she was 11.
Oh.
So like her having a British accent and British stuff seems way more normal to me. It's not like Madonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's helpful.
But yeah, I haven't even finished listening to it yet, but it's really interesting just like hearing them talk about this and talk about the characters and just, I don't know. It's good. You should listen to it.
I think I'm glad you listened, because I remember I knew that he had a podcast and I knew she was on it, but I think I heard that like they had taltalked about some of the conflicts on set and stuff, and I was worried that it would make me
it didn't make me feel that way at all.
X-Files
and like it seems like
okay,
because like, you know, have you ever heard that like Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze didn't get along on the set of Dirty Dancing? And it always makes me like, it's disappointing. But like,
yeah, and I've
also heard them say like, well, it was kind of like blown out of proportion, and she was younger than him, and she got on his nerves, and it's not that big of a deal, and people made more out of it than it was. And like, I think it's the same thing with David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, that it's not like, oh, they weren't getting along or didn't like each other. It's just like, oh, it could be difficult, and they were stressed out, and like some of the conditions weren't great, and like the demands made on them, and like, you know, they're two complicated people,
okay.
but like, it's clear they have this like bond that like, even if they aren't hanging out together all the time or whatever, they have this, you know, big, deep connection and like respect for each other. And like, they do events together and stuff. I just saw there's going to be one in San Antonio where they're both like doing like a Comic-Con style thing. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Like, so it didn't make me feel that way at all. Yes, she does. She should go.
Oh, I was thinking we should all go. we should go visit Amanda.
I will be in Iceland. So I'm a jerk and can't go for Iceland.
And I should probably do all the crazy amounts of work that I'm...
It will be during the time when you're trying to finish your book.
Yeah.
But where better to finish your book than San Antonio? Yeah. I don't know why, but it sounded good as I said it. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. She's got a chicken that just wanders over to her house sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. We came up with a theory that the chicken's name is also Amanda. I don't know why. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Anyway, well, so I recommend that.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah.
That's very good to know. And next week we're talking about the Springfield Files.
The Springfield Files. It is from the season 8 of The Simpsons, and it aired during season 4 of The X-Files.
Perfect.
And it'll be good.
Season 8 of The Simpsons. That feels like a long time ago, too, because they're on like...
They're in the 30s, I think.
These days,
yeah, I think The Simpsons started in 89 or 90, I want to say.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, until next time. Bye.
Bye.
We Want to Believe is hosted by Helen Werner and Liz Holden. It's produced by Zach Werner. The We Want to Believe theme music was created and recorded by Zach Werner. Find us at wewanttoBelievePod.com, on Instagram at wewanttoBelievePod, or send us an email at wewanttoBelievePod@gmail.com.